girl, you don't need to be spending that much money. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rylie Lane, and if you are new here, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down there and give this video a big thumbs up if you do enjoy it. And I do also have a little Lust 20s Tribe email list, so I'll leave a link down there if you want to subscribe, and you'll be seeing me in your inbox. So for today's video, I wanted to share with you a few ways, I guess, that I have been able to save money, mainly for traveling, because I mean at this point in my life my main goal, priority, I'm not really sure the right word to use, is to just travel as much as I possibly can. Right now I'm still young, don't have too many responsibilities, and I think that that is just exactly what I need right now. So just a little recap on my recent traveling, I guess. In 2017, so last year, for the second half of that, I traveled for 6 months, and I paid for that completely on my own. I saved all my money, and no loans or credit cards or anything like that. And now, fast forward to 6 months later, I'm about to move overseas to London and doing a little bit of traveling on the way to sort of getting there. So I've definitely put a very high priority on saving money, because for me, my goal is to travel, and to travel, you need money, basically. And especially moving over to London, the sort of salary to living expenses is very, I don't know, do I say it's high or low? Basically, how much it costs to live there, the salaries sort of aren't super high for the cost of living. I feel like I'm explaining this really bad. So I definitely have known that I need to go over there with a bit of saving behind me, so just so I still can travel while I'm over there and not be basically living paycheck to paycheck. I never would want to do that in my whole life, so I do put a very high priority on saving money. So someone once actually told me, said straight to my face, oh, you can only travel because you're Australian and you get really high wages there. That made me absolutely furious. I don't think that is an excuse. I think if you have a high priority on saving money for whatever reason, whether it's travel or whatever you want that money for, then you can make it work. So let's get into my ways that I have managed to be able to save so much money to do all of this traveling and move overseas. So my very first and obvious tip is, obviously you have to work out a budget. You have to work out how much money is coming in and how much money needs to go back out, and then what's left over is what you are able to save. So I have done a little video on this when I was traveling last year about how I managed to save $30,000 to travel, and that's where I sort of break down a little bit more on how I exactly budget my monthly salary. I have created a Word Excel, that's two different programs, an Excel sort of spreadsheet which helps me work this out and track how much money I'm saving and all of that sort of thing. So I will make that template shareable with you guys, so I'll leave a link down below if you want to download that. I like to use, what's it called, the one that's online, Google Sheets, so that I can access that from wherever I am, whether I want it on my phone, my personal laptop at home, or at work, just so I have access to it at all times. And that basically breaks down what my salary is, you know, how much my bills cost, how much spending money I need for the month, and how much I am able to save. And then I also put my actual bank sort of details in there, so I am tracking exactly how much I'm saving. And then if I ever have to take any money out, I also subtract that out. And yeah, it's just this document that works everything out. I think it's easier if you look at it, and you can enter in all your expenses. I'll put some like really clear instructions in there too if you do want to use it, and if you want to use that way to budget your money. But however you decide to work out your budget, that is a #1 priority that you have to write down how much you're spending and how much you're saving, because otherwise if you're just going willy-nilly and just being like, yeah, I'll spend this, I'll spend that, then you're not going to save anything at the end of the month. It just does not work like that. You need to work it out from the start of the month when you get paid, exactly where all the money's going, and stick to it. You have to stick to it. And that brings me on to my second tip, which is you have to know what your goal is. There is no way you're going to stick to this budget if you don't have this goal in your mind and a reason for saving this money. Because every time you go, oh, I'm gonna buy this really expensive, unnecessary thing that I actually don't need but I just want, you will think, okay, do I want to put this money into saving for travel? And do I want to be able to take that trip to Morocco, which is where I'm going next? I'm so excited. Or do I want to buy this handbag when I already have another handbag and I don't really need it? You need to keep that goal in the front of your mind at all times and know exactly why you are saving this money. Otherwise, you're not gonna stick to it. Like, it's just not gonna work. So pretty much ever since I at least started working full-time, I've always had a saving goal, and I've only been working full-time for 2.5 years, and that goal has always been travel. But I know that one day it will be a house, but whatever it is, you need to have that goal in place and have a reason for saving. So another little thing I've been learning a bit about recently, which I'm not 100% like, I know everything about it at the moment, but it's something I still wanted to share with you guys a little bit and maybe point you in the right direction to find a bit more information out about it. And it's called an abundance mindset. So basically, a lot of people live in this world, live in a scarcity mindset regarding money, which means they look at it as something that they'll never have a lot of. And realistically, if you're always in a scarcity mindset, then money is never going to come to you. It is always going to be something that you're always concerned about. Changing into an abundance mindset means that you are letting the money come to you and you're being grateful for all that money that you have, and it just completely changes your mind on the way you look at money. And let me tell you, since I've been doing it maybe over the past month-ish, definitely haven't completely changed into an abundance mindset, but I'm slowly getting there, and it's something I'm really working on. And one of the little tips that I think has really helped me out in doing that is a tip I got from Marie Folio. I will leave this podcast that I listened to get this tip from down below if you are interested, but it's something she says in that to help you change into an abundance mindset. Is every single time that you pay for something, you tap your card for your coffee or whatever you are buying, you say to yourself, there's more money where that came from. And that is just slowly changing your mind to be more abundant instead of being in that scarcity mindset. It's definitely something I recommend you looking further into, and maybe when I learn a bit more about it, I can share it further with you if you guys are interested. Alright, so my fourth tip is to track expenses. So in the little budget thingy that I I typed it. I have a tab in there where because I get paid monthly, so I call it, you know, June pay, July pay, August pay or whatever, and I have sort of break it down by the categories that I want to spend each month and how much I'm going to spend, just to actually see where your money's going. And the first month I did that, I just like looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, I'm definitely spending way too much money on this, and it's definitely an area I can pull back on, and that is where I can save a little bit more extra money. A really good way to actually see where your money's going, because sometimes you're just spending money like crazy and you're just like, once you actually physically see it in front of you, you understand, okay, I don't need to be doing that, and that is an area where I can save more money. I type out every single expense, even if it's only a couple of dollars. And then my very last tip, which is something that will only really relate to if you are trying to save money for travel, not for something else, is consider a working holiday. That's what I'm doing going over to London, so I will move over there to work and also travel at the same time, because obviously I'm from Australia and it's a bit harder to get to Europe or the UK or whatever, and that is just making it much easier for me to be able to travel and work at the same time, like, you know, still bringing in an income. There's so many options for working holidays, so if you are really set on traveling, but if you don't have the time to save up all that money, working holiday is definitely something I think will be so fun. I mean, I'm going on my first one this year, so we will see how it goes. You can also follow my journey to see if you think it's right for you. So those are all my tips on how I've managed to save money and how I think you can too. I just believe that no matter what your income is, you can save money. You just have to be smart about it and be smart about how you're spending. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've got any questions, of course, leave them in the comments, and I'm sending all the good vibes out to you to be able to change yourself into an abundant mindset and save as much money as you possibly can. So I love you all so much, and I will speak to you in my next video. Bye!